Good morning. My name is Abigail Bottome, and my pronouns are she and hers. I'm a member of the Worship and Music Committee, and I will be your worship associate this morning. I'm delighted to welcome you here, whether you are visiting this morning or a regular member, and welcome the Kingston folks. Please check with a greeter if you have any questions. Today, we acknowledge that we are located in a place that was once the Wampanoag village of Patuxet. We strive to follow their example and be faithful stewards of this sacred land. The theme for today's service is When the Soul Enters the Body Politic. Our service is recorded. The service will be posted on our Facebook page and on YouTube. We also share our services on local public access television. Our service today is led by Linda Harding, over here. And our music is provided by guest musician Jean Monroe, and I'm going to introduce Jean, tell you a little about her. Jean Monroe was most recently a full-time teacher of musical theater at the Walnut Hill School for the Arts in Natick, Mass. Previously, she was head of music at the Portora Royal School, now Enniskillen Grammar, where she directed an 80-member choir. She also directed the Adult Fermanagh Choral Society. Am I pronouncing that right? A highlight for Jean was arranging a piece for a small choir, organ, and flute, and conducting it for Queen Elizabeth on her Diamond Jubilee visit to St. Macartan's Cathedral in Northern Ireland in 2012. Very cool. Jean has taught private piano extensively, both in Boston and Enniskillen. She now lives in Plymouth and is delighted to be joining us today to celebrate the 250th 4th of July. So welcome. Because our services vary from week to week, we suggest you visit us again to experience the variety of worship we offer. If you are a visitor, please consider signing the guest book, which is back in the foyer, so you may receive our weekly e-blast. Whoever you are, whomever you love, whatever you believe, wherever you are on your journey, let us walk together this hour.
Thank you again for everyone here. Thank you for your participation as the service goes along this morning. It's wonderful to join together on the weekend marking the 250th anniversary to celebrate our nation and our freedoms. When I thought of a theme for this service a couple of months ago, I think I bit off a little bit more than I could chew. There are others in this congregation, Harrison, for instance, who's a high school civics teacher, who are much more qualified to tackle this topic. Interesting enough, in 1999, Jon Meacham wrote a book called The Soul of America. He defines the soul not as a fixed entity, but as an arena of contention, a collection of convictions, dispositions, and sensitivities that shape the country's collective character. He writes that it is the soul of America. It's in a constant state of battle between our better angels, hope, tolerance, and empathy, and our worst instincts, fear, division, and tribalism. In this homily, I'll refer to some of his thinking. The term, our better angels, comes from Abraham Lincoln's first inaugural address, which he delivered just as the nation was splitting apart and the Civil War was looming. Wikipedia says, the closing lines of this speech are one of the most frequently quoted lines in American history. And here are our opening words.
I am loath to close. We are not enemies, but friends. We must not be enemies. Though passion may have strained, it must not break our bonds of affection. The mystic chords of memory will yet swell the chorus of the union when again touched, as surely they will be, by the better angels of our nature.
Thank you, Abigail. Please stand as you're able as we sing the first verse of My Country 'Tis of Thee. The words will be on the monitors of the screen. Let freedom ring. Please be seated. Can't you just hear Martin Luther King saying, "Let freedom ring"?
This isn't more. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, we'll say together, love is the spirit of this church and service is law. This is our great covenant to dwell
Together in peace, to seek the truth in freedom, to speak the truth in love, and to help one another.
We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love.
The soul of America. As we go through the homily, Abigail and I will alternate our readings. Abigail's reading from The Hill We Climb by Amanda Gorman, and I'll be sharing my thoughts on the soul of America.
Before we hear our reading this morning, I'd like to offer a little context. The poem you're about to hear is The Hill We Climb, written by Amanda Gorman. At just 22 years old, the Harvard graduate from Los Angeles became the youngest inaugural poet in American history when she read these words at President Joe Biden's inauguration on January 20th, 2021. Gorman has shared that she'd been working on the poem before the inauguration, but when the events of January 6th unfolded, when a violent mob stormed the U.S. Capitol, she stayed up through the night, rewriting and finishing it. The attack became part of the poem's emotional landscape.
The soul of America. Can a nation have a soul? It's a curious concept. A country's not a person. It doesn't grieve in any single body. It doesn't have a single conscience. No unfitted heart, no private inner life. And yet, we speak this way all the time. We speak about the soul of a nation, or we speak about the spirit of a people. We use this language because our country is more than an arrangement of geography and laws. It's a shared story, unfinished, contested, and alive. It is something we're always shaping together, whether we intend to or not. So when we explore the health of the soul of America, we aren't asking whether our nation is perfect. We're asking whether our shared values, justice, liberty, compassion, and equity, dignity, we're asking that they are present and alive in our culture and in our government. So what kind of moral story are we living inside of today? And what kind of story are we still trying to write? Recently, I found myself listening to a CD series by Carolyn Myss. The series is called The Sacred Contract of America. She created it after 9/11. I've thought of Carolyn Myss as a truth teller, an original thinker, a modern mystic, and one of my most influential spiritual advisors or teachers. I have to warn you, she's blunt. She doesn't soften the edges or apologize for speaking the truth as she sees it, and I find that refreshing. Her directness grabs my attention, disrupts my comfortable assumptions, and invites me to wrestle with my own experience. In her introduction of Sacred Contract of America, Carolyn Myss states, "Do you think you are free? Our country today is shaped by fear, fear of lawsuits, fear of speaking up, fear of being judged, fear that simply expressing disagreement with those in power or simply being perceived as different could put you at risk. Fear has a way of shrinking us. It tempts us to be quieter, more cautious, less willing to speak our convictions or reach across our differences. When fear begins to shape our public life, it also begins to shape the soul of the nation."
The Hill We Climb by Amanda Gorman. When day comes, we ask ourselves, where can we find light in this never-ending shade? The loss we carry, a sea we must wade. We brave the belly of the beast. We've learned that quiet isn't always peace, and the norms and notions of what just isn't always justice. And yet the dawn is ours before we knew it. Somehow we do it. Somehow we weathered and witnessed a nation that isn't broken, but simply unfinished. We, the successors of a country and a time where a skinny black girl, descended from slaves and raised by a single mother, can dream of becoming president, only to find herself reciting to one. And yes, we are far from polished, far from pristine, but that doesn't mean we are striving to form a union that is perfect.
In examining the soul of America, it's helpful to return to the beginning of our nation. Hold on, I lost my place. Okay.
The intellectual.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, the intellect, yeah. It's helpful to return to the beginning of the nation itself, the intellectual beginning that shaped it, the age of enlightenment. In that era, thinkers across Europe and the American colonies began to imagine a very different foundation for human society. Not the divine right of kings, not inherited hierarchy, but reason, human dignity, and the belief that authority must be accountable to the governed. A self-governed people? Can you imagine how radical that thinking was in the day? From thinkers like John Locke came the idea that certain rights are not granted by governments, but are inherent by being human. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of something like flourishing. Rousseau gave the idea of a social contract that governments derive their legitimacy from the consent of the people. During this time period, people were just high on ideals, high on thinking, principles. On July 4th, 1776, the Continental Congress adopted the United States Declaration of Independence. To get to the place of a finished constitution, the Continental Congress overcame regional rivalries, economic self-interest, mistrust in each other, and profound political differences in order to create a more perfect union. The beginning of the Constitution, we, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. Do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. Happy birthday, America! And the Constitution is more than a government document. It's a moral experiment, a bold attempt to translate Enlightenment ideals into a living system of governance. At the center of that experiment are enduring values: liberty, equity, justice, democracy, due process, and pluralism, the idea that many voices, many identities, many perspectives can belong within one shared civic life. And these are extraordinary ideas for a government. And they were, at the same time, they were written into a system that tolerated slavery, excluded women, and displaced indigenous people. From the very beginning, there was a gap between the ideals and the reality. And so we begin to see something critical about the soul of America. It's not pure. It is a tension, and it is an aspiration.
We are striving to forge our nation with purpose, to compose a country committed to all cultures, colors, characters, and conditions of man. And so we lift our gaze not to what stands between us, but what stands before us. We close the divide because we know to put our future first, we must first put our differences aside. We lay down our arms so we can reach out our arms to one another. We seek harm to none and harmony for all. Let the globe, if nothing else, say this is true, that even as we grieved, we grew, that even as we hurt, we hoped, that even as we tired, we tried, that we'll forever be tied together, victorious, not because we will never again know defeat, but because we will never again sow division. Scripture tells us to envision that everyone shall sit under their own vine and fig tree, and no one shall make them afraid.
Jon Meacham, historian and author of The Soul of America, explains that fear, anxiety, and violence are intertwined with the story of our country. He says, we have been here before. For instance, we can learn a lot by studying the MacArthur era. McCarthy understood that headlines speak louder than details. Meacham says, McCarthy would have loved Twitter. Meacham confirms that change in America comes when the powerful notice that what the people are saying. It's on all of us to save the country. Liberty and equality are not fixed ideas. The question is whether we are still willing to be shaped by them, because we are the ones who determine how these values are lived. And we are left with a sobering realization. Those founding ideals are not self-executing. They do not sustain themselves. They require participation, attention, courage, and care.
If we're to live up to our own time, then victory won't lie in the blade, but in all the bridges we've made. That is the promise to glade, the hill we climb, if only we dare. It's because being American is more than a pride we inherit. It's the past we step into and how we repair it. We've seen a force that would shatter our nation rather than share it, would destroy our country if it meant delaying democracy. And this effort very nearly succeeded. But while democracy can be periodically delayed, it can never be permanently defeated. In this truth, in this faith, we trust. For while we have our eyes on the future, history has its eyes on us. This is the era of just redemption. We feared at its inception. We did not feel prepared to be the heirs of such a terrifying hour. But within it, we found the power to author a new chapter, to offer hope and laughter to ourselves. So while once we asked, how could we possibly prevail over catastrophe? Now we assert, how could catastrophe possibly prevail over us?
Jon Meacham stated, well, actually he warned, our government has become an entertainment venue. He responded to an interview question, is it too late to reclaim our democracy? This is how his response was, every generation inherits an unfinished democracy. Every generation must decide whether fear or hope will shape the next chapter. It's not too late, not because history guarantees a happy ending, but because history reminds us that ordinary citizens, acting with courage and conscience, have renewed America's promise before.
We will not march back to what was, but move to what shall be, a country that is bruised but whole, benevolent but bold, fierce and free. We will not be turned around or interrupted by intimidation, because we know our inaction and inertia will be the inheritance of the next generation, become the future. Our blunders become their burdens. But one thing is certain, if we merge mercy with might and might with right, then love becomes our legacy and change our children's birthright. So let us leave behind a country better than the one we were left.
So how do we move forward? What does it mean to be an American today? What brings us back to the idea of a national soul? The values that shaped the American Constitution are enduring truths. Perhaps the soul of America is not a thing we possess. Perhaps it is something we practice. And so the real question is whether we are still willing to be shaped by these values.
Every breath from my bronze-pounded chest, we will raise this wounded world into a wondrous one. We will rise from the golden hills of the West. We will rise from the windswept Northeast, where our forefathers first realized revolution. We will rise from the lake-rimmed cities of the Midwestern states. We will rise from the sun-baked South. We will rebuild, reconcile, and recover. And every known nook of our nation and every corner called our country, our people, diverse and beautiful, will emerge battered and beautiful. When the day comes, we step out of the shade, aflame and unafraid. The new dawn blooms as we free it. For there is always light, if only we're brave enough to see it. If only we're brave enough to be it.
A little hand of applause for Abigail. That was
Well,
for that poem. Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for that reading, Abigail. Please stand as you're able and join in singing We'll Build a Land. please be seated. Well, we're going to transition to the offering. As you know, we always say Unitarian Universalists have a free creed. We're free to speak our truths, but you know, running the church is not free. Ron keeps talking to N-Star and Verizon, telling them we're a free church, right? But our morning offering will now be taken and gratefully received. Please stand as you're able and join in our doxology. The words will be on the monitors. Please remain standing for the benediction. And I offer you this blessing. May the spirit of liberty dwell in our hearts. May justice guide our choices. May compassion shape our relationships. May hope steady our steps. Go in peace. Go in love. Blessed be. Amen. Please be seated. And before we go, wondered if everyone would join in singing, "This Land is Your Land."